We are live today. I didn't even announce, I just popped on because you know how I am. I'm mostly not prepared, but anyway. Did I find out some good information? And I was so shocked by this because um, I kind of thought about this for a long time, but then I found somebody talking on YouTube about this. Hang on, guys. And it's about this just goes further than just Chad and Lori being crazy and actually trying to act out or live out the Visions of Glory book, which uh, Hidden True Crime, they've talked about that before because in the doc over there thinks that that's exactly what they're doing. It's just living out these books that he's writing, and that is true to an extent. But let me tell you what else I found. So this person is related to Brandon Boudreaux somehow. I'm not real sure what. I think it's a cousin. But she's very aware of everything that's been going on in this case. And she talked, I was watching her live yesterday, and she was talking about exactly what I had been thinking about with this case. And that's the fact that these people, and it's not just Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell. I mean, there are other people. I want to play part of this for you, but basically they are doing these things in the name of religion, thinking that they are securing their place in heaven. Okay, so I know this is controversial. I know it sounds a little bit wild and kind of out there, but this is what she was talking about. And I was like, I've always thought there was just another step to this other than just crazy. Okay, so I'm going to find this for us. We will play a little bit of it. I wish I would have announced, but it's okay. I know that people like to just come in when they can, and that's okay too, or just whatever. I'm so easy about all this, you know that. So anyway, let me go over here and get this right quick. Okay, there we go. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's finally stopped raining. I'm so excited because I am rained out, just rained out. I just can't, dang, it was just too much. So, let me put this little announcement out there right now in case anybody's interested. If not, I'm live now. Anyway, post. Okay. Anyway, hang on a second, guys. Oh Lord, the amount of rain and devastation that's happened here in Texas is unimaginable. I have seen every kind of sick. Nasty comments from, Texas got what they wanted, as if it's political, racist things, only making comments like, they'll only be looked for because they're these, whatever children, just some of the ugliest things I've ever seen in a natural disaster. I want to tell you something. It's not only flooding in Texas, but it's also flooding in other places too. We just had a lot of rain, and it came so fast, there was no way to basically get out fast enough. I mean, what they estimated the rain to be and what actually fell are two different things. That's another thing that happened in this case. So, I mean, rain was just rain. It's just that season. It's basically, hurricane season out of the Gulf. We know that a lot of the rain comes into Texas from the Gulf. Anyway, this is what happened out there. And so, so far, I think it's like 105 people. They're still kids. There was places in Leander, which is actually where I do live, which is north of Austin, which is the beginning of the hill country. Places like Sandy Creek, Lago Vista, Georgetown. Those places all had, deaths. It's bad. Let me turn this other light. Yeah, maybe that'll get rid of that glare. It's terrible. So I'm up in my... No, it's got to be that little light over there. Let me get rid of this little light. Hang on. I mean, you need some light. Okay, anyway. So there's just been some really nasty things being said, out there. It just doesn't need to happen. And for all of those. And I made a little live the other day. I didn't even have makeup on. I just jumped on to let you know this is real, and that you've had family members in this area, please contact them and make sure they're okay, because it just happens so fast. But anyway, let me go over and set this up for a minute. Where is it? It's called, let me see if we can get this fixed. Let's see. It's media. I think it's media assets I'm looking for. Hello. Okay. We're going to play a little bit of music in the background because we need to when we're playing other people's things. I can get this to play a little bit. I don't even hear it. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, well, hello. You've got to turn the sound up on your machine, silly girl. It's all the way down. Okay. Now let's play it. Okay, there it is. No, not that one. Let's play a different one. This one's good. All right. And we're going to turn it down just a minute, and then we'll be able to go on to our other thing that we're going to do. Because I'm going to share the screen. I want to play just a little bit of this. Very interesting. And if you've never listened to her, I wish that you want to do my silly glasses. Oh, Lord. I wish you would go listen to her and just check it out, because she's very, very interesting. Hey guys, good to see you. Come on in whenever you can. If you just need to listen while you drive, I'm easy like that. But and I finally heard from the Attorney's office, because I did a FOIA request on Justin Banta, everything that they could release on him, and they replied to me yesterday and asked me to give them instead of a vague broad list, actually give them exactly what I wanted to get. And so my response was, well, I would like the arrest affidavit and the body cam if it's been released to the defense, because we all know that they won't release anything on FOIA unless it's been already released to the defense, right? Anyway, so that's what I've got on that. I was hoping to hear back from them today. Let me check. I don't think they've sent me anything yet, but I'm excited about that. Very excited about that. Let me think what else I want. So I've ordered some Chad Daybell books. I'm having a hard time getting those. I don't know why it's so hard, but I can tell you, hang on a minute. Let me tell you which one I know is actually already been shipped, and that's A Prophet in Palmyra, Dare to Be True Adventure. It's one of Chad Daybell's books. So I'm going to read that book, and we're going to see what part of this situation what part of that book was brought into the Lori and Chad Daybell situation, because we know that's what happened there. But let me go get this other creator, and I'm going to share the screen in a second. I'm going to split the screen and we'll get her picked up. I was so happy when I listened for a while, and then I heard her talking about this, and it's like, oh my God, I've thought about this for a long time. I'm so glad somebody else was thinking about it too. And I think, who better than her to actually tell that story, because she's a family member. So she knows the church, she knows all of it, she knows them. Come on now, open up. So let me get this right. Oh Lord, I think, what was her name? Not that one. Let me get her pulled back up. Oh Lord. I sent it to a friend of mine because I was like, I sent it over to the Ward Case Studies, because her and Alex, they've done a lot of work on this case too. And I sent it over to her and I said, listen, this creator right here has it. She has it. And it's called, what is her name? Hang on a second, guys. Let me see.
Whatever.
Hang on a second. Her name is Difficult Research. Yes, and it is difficult research. It's very difficult research. Whoops. No, turn that one off. Where is my search thingy? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, hang on a minute. I want to find her history. Come on now. Oops. I know it. I'm just never prepared. I'm so glad y'all you're just, hanging out with me. I'm so glad. Anyway, so let's go find her name of her, where is this? No, I don't want this there. Wow, I don't want to see that. See, there's this thing that pops up in here now, and it's because I got onto this other streaming service, but they don't really stream. They just kind of let me go back over here. They kind of what's the word I want to use? They help with your lives, but they are not really the streamers, right? They're just it's called difficult research. Okay. They just have little things to make your lives better, but they don't actually stream. Open up. Here we go. It's just very, very enlightening. The grand stream of it all, I believe is what it's called. We'll hang on. Let me make sure I right one. It's called, yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to get back up here. Okay, now let me fix this. We'll get ready to bring it over. Okay, now, hold on. Okay, so now I have to go back over here and do this. So crazy, because you can't share the screen to do that. You can't do it from splitting the screen. You have to do it the other way. So here we go. There we are. Now let me go get her. Present. Share my screen. Just bear with me. All right, now this is exactly what it is right here. Okay. So this is what it is. Let me turn this off. Okay. Oops, stop. I'm sorry, guys. I'm never prepared. You know that. I try to be, but okay, hold on a minute. Okay. So this is exactly, okay, so this person, this is what I'm telling you is related to Brandon Boudreaux. I believe it's a cousin. And so she has done a lot of research on this, and she has read the book Visions of Glory. She understands it. She's from that faith. I mean, she really can tell us a lot about it. And so she calls this it exposes them living the Visions of Glory book. Okay, so we're going to listen to some of this, and I know you're going to find it interesting. If you've not ever looked at her channel, please go do. She's very versed in this, and I think it's great information on helping us understand the psychological mess that these two. It was like the perfect storm when those two came together. So let's play this and let's listen for a little bit, okay? I really appreciate y'all coming. I do.
And I imagine since Gordon Bowen is BFFs with Mitt Romney, he's probably like, but still it's like if he's the alleged LDS Church of Satan Punisher, allegedly, that's a public humiliation ritual, if you will. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not here to justify why they do what they do. I'm just trying to figure out why they do what they do. Basically, it's an NWO. I don't want to say it because it's not my conspiracy. I don't know. Michigan. Oh, thank you. It's what this is. And again, they're not the only people in this club. There's many other people. There's Tim Ballard, there's Mitt Romney, there's Gordon Bowen, there's David Hamblin, and Rosie, Jody, Ruby, Kevin. I'd say Kevin too, if I had to speculate. All these like generational families who are doing this to their children, like the ones that are in the headlines and are doing rotten shit, being rotten people and acting all holier than thou. Those people. And I really do, y'all. And I mean, again, this is just my speculation. I can't prove it. And I mean, I don't think you can in a court of law anyways, because you can't convict somebody on their beliefs, right? So, but you can on their practices, right? I think that the end game for Lori and Chad and Melanie, because I mean, everybody, why kill kids? Why torture kids? Why torture them till you kill them? Why do all this abuse? What's the end game here? What is the end game? And I mean, that's a fair question, right? What's the end game? Well, I'll use Kanye West's word, to traumatize and monetize. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's part of it. That's part of the whole stealing people's light, like exploiting people, victimizing people, being a narcissist, whatever you want to call it. It's a pay-to-stay system in Florida and in Georgia too. Oh, I was like, that's exactly what it is. But no, if the NWO program, I'll just call it a program or agenda, whatever you want to call it, there's this age-old conspiracy that's been around. Watch, I'm gonna have one of them blue things under my damn video. Oh my God, algorithm gods, I'm pissing them off right now. But let me look it up because I'm gonna botch it. Now it's going to be in my computer history. Everything else is, huh? Let's look at the Wikipedia, which is approved by them. Right. So, a New World Order conspiracy theory. So, there you go. This article is about the conspiracy theory for the use of the term in international politics. See, New World Order politics. What's the damn difference? In the New World
Fair use. I'm going to have to stop for just
Anyways,
a second.
Joseph Smith, it's riddled. And I mean, as
Okay. So listen carefully to what she's saying, because now this is where it gets into the bigger picture. And she is absolutely right. This is a fair question, is what is the end game of all of this? And I've always wondered about this, because I thought to myself, they can't be just this crazy. There has to be something else to this. How does a bunch of everyday people all of a sudden turn into to what we've seen happen? So when I started listening to this, she's kind of like me, which I really appreciate this about her. Thank you, Difficult Research. I really, really do. Is she's kind of a little bit, unorganized like I am. And anyway, I just really was excited to find her. It really was, to hear her talk about this. And when I learned that she was related to Brandon, I was even more excited. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information, talk for a minute, because, under fair use, we have to do that. Full credit to Difficult Research. And please, I'm only bringing this to you for educational purposes only. I am not of that religion. I do not know much about that religion. I would like to learn more, because I like to continually learn things. So anyway, let's go back and listen some more. I think you're going to learn a lot from this today. Hang on, guys.
NWO, it's laced throughout the Book of Mormon, in my opinion, about the Zion, New Jerusalem, and I've been led to the Phoenix so many times. I don't know how, because I don't know how this all works, but I've just been reading things that okay, multiple probations. All right,
All right, there we
Hector
go.
Sosa's like, oh,
All right.
he wrote an email to all his Pathway to Zion members, they're shutting down everything. They're locking it down. Chad and Lori, the kids are missing. They're locking it down, but won't talk to nobody. And he's like, okay, don't talk about multiple probations. And I'm like, check. And he's like, I forget what else. Don't talk about, it'll come to me. But I'm just like, that's exactly what I'm going to go damn look up. And it's exactly what I did. And so, for a long time, I've been reading this stuff since the beginning, when things weren't adding up and I was not getting the right response, I guess you could say, from the public, Anyways, let me hush, because we got a lot of ground to cover. So, the New World Order is a term often used in conspiracy theories, not mine, which hypothesize a secretly emerging totalitarian world government. The common theme in conspiracy theories about a New World Order is that a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda, I don't care who's behind it, is conspiring to eventually rule the world through I'm having a hard time with that, an authoritarian one world government. which will replace sovereign nation states, and an all-encompassing propaganda whose ideology hails the establishment of the NWO as the culmination of history's progress. Many influential historical and contemporary figures have therefore been alleged to be, I don't like this word, to be a part of a cabal, cabal, that operates through many front organizations. Well, it tends to look this way. When you take Operation Underground Railroad, which was, being sponsored by Chad Daybell's company, the same weekend that Tylee Ryan was murdered. And then, well, allegedly, according to Lori, Tylee died 2 days before her birthday, which is when JJ died. So, I mean, whatever. You do the math. Who knows? But we're going to go with what we know to be true because we don't believe liars. But, so I'm just saying, OUR was there the weekend that Tylee was murdered, and then Book of Mormon evidence was in town whenever JJ was murdered. So I don't know. Just from the research I've done over the past 6 years, it tracks. They look to me, I've said it before, they look like front organizations. It's kind of like a Mormon Diddy white party, except it ends up being a freak off. But there's levels to it. So the front organization is going to be, of course, what the Book of Mormon say, doing all the stuff where they have the vendors and all the things. They're going to make their money,
Okay. There you some sign.
And
I
then
gotta
perhaps
stop again, but y'all know
there's
how
the
this
after
goes.
party, and
But
then there's the
anyway,
after party.
Now, think about what she just told us about, which we never heard any of this in the trial. We never heard any of these things about this One World Order or the Underground Railroad sponsored by Chad Daybell's own company. I didn't know anything about that. I'd never heard about this before. And so now I need to figure out what is when she says OUR or the Book of Mormon evidence was in town when this happened. I need to figure out who those people are, right? That'll be interesting to find out. But this just goes so much deeper than any of us ever really thought. We were just looking on the outside, just looking from the outside, like, oh, it's just another, messed up in the head criminal, in the name of religion, we're going to take people's lives. It's so hard on YouTube because, you don't want to say the wrong thing. But that's not what this is. It is so much deeper, and I'm so excited to hear the rest of what she has to say. Now, there is a free version of Visions of Glory. I don't know where to find it, but I'm going to find out where to find it. If anybody wants to go out and read and kind of follow along with and do a deeper dive into this situation with me, that would be so fun. So anyway, so let me go let this run for another 3 or 4 minutes, and we just have to keep stopping. I'm so sorry. So just bear with me while we learn a little bit. Thanks.
Chad and Lori seemed like they were, James and Elena that was born on that couch right there by Bruce Porter, allegedly. I'm good. So that was a freak off, and that's what we'll call it. Lori and Chad's freak off. James and Elena were born.
Oh boy.
Anyways, I'm just talking out my butt right now, and I'm so sorry. All right. So that operates through many front organizations to orchestrate significant political and financial events, ranging from causing systemic crisis to pushing through controversial policies at both national and international levels as steps in an ongoing plot to achieve world domination, right? So it says before the early 90s, New World Order conspiracism was limited to 2 American countercultures. I'm not political, so do what you do. Primarily the militantly anti-government right, okay? And secondarily, the part of fundamentalist Christianity. What if you have both? What if you have people in this club that are both, in my opinion? Concerned with the eschatological end-time emergence of the Antichrist. Remember that? Remember what it said right here? Oh, well, let me back it up. Go here. Remember what that said? astral projection case studies. Number 2, vision case studies. 3, eschatology. 4, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints doctrines. And then number 5, Mormon Church doctrines. There you go. All right. Proven. Fact. End times emerge. Okay. Academics who study conspiracy theories and religious extremism, such as Michael Barkin and Chip Burlett, observed that right-wing populist conspiracy theories about a new world order not only had been embraced by many seekers of stigmatized knowledge, but also had seeped into popular culture, thereby fueling a surge of interest and participation in survivalism. We got the Prepper Pride, paramilitarism, Jason Mao, and, Operation Underground Railroad, and paying, like the people, the elite folk, his, rich friends, they would pay for an experience to go, rescue alleged trafficked children. No receipts, none. It's about to get really alarming, y'all. So you might want to put on your tinfoil hats. Okay, as many people actively prepare for, I would say as many people actively prepare for and profit from. Okay, Julie Rowe. Okay, Tom Harrison. Okay, Tim Ballard. Okay, LDS Church and other churches that do the same shit. Stop it. Okay, for apocalyptic and millennial, scenarios, these political scientists warned that mass hysteria over NWO conspiracy theories could eventually have devastating effects on American political life. Yeah, traumatized. It's called traumatization. It's called fear. Trauma-based fear. Or, yeah, am I saying that right? Or fear-based trauma. Something like that. Okay, could eventually have devastating effects on American political life, ranging from escalating lone wolf terrorism, which is a type of terrorism committed by an individual who both plans and commits the act on their own. In my family, that's kind of happened. Almost. To the rise to power of authoritarian, ultra-nationalist demagogues. I don't know these words. An extremist form of nationalism in which a country asserts or maintains supremacy or, well, there you go. You got Chad Daybell saying raccoon, and then Tyler's dead. And they talking about dark people. So there you go, supremacy. Just saying. Demagogues or rabble-rouser is a political leader in a democracy who gains popularity by arousing the common people against elites. Did you see that interview that freaking Paul Hutchinson did? And it's got Epstein, it's got Diddy, and he's like, I was there. And I'm like, I bet your ass you were. I bet you were. But you can't tell. You can't be a little bitch and tell. And then make it like, oh my God, you can't hang with the big boys, in the billionaire club. You can't do that and then run tell that. You can't. Okay. I can't stand these people. History of the term. I don't want to go through all this. Okay. I'll grab the link and I will throw it in the chat, and you are more than welcome to look at it at your leisure. I'll look at it a little more and brush up on some terminology because I suck at it. But what do y'all think? I mean, this is crazy. He said he did. He claimed he did. But they couldn't prove anything over because Tim would have to voluntarily say, release my records. But he won't because he's not gonna, because it's a moneymaker for him either way. So we can sit here and speculate, more.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? Did you hear all the names she was naming? So what I'm writing these things down so I can, as we do our deep dive into the real reason. Okay, the real Chad and Lori and buying their little stairway to heaven. That's the words I'm going to use. Buying their stairway to heaven. Their guaranteed spot in heaven. That's what I'm going to call it. You know what? Let me turn this light off fast. Hang on. I don't like it. All right. So, yes, I'm up in our media room because it's quiet. I'd forgotten how quiet it was up here because you can't hear the dogs bark, you can't hear any of the noise going on. But anyway, so I'm writing down all these names so we can do this deep dive into what these people that she's talking about. They're all into this big thing. I mean, some people call it conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. It is absolutely real because she knows about it because she is a relative of Brandon Boudreaux, which again is very fascinating for me, and I really want to talk to her. I'm going to invite her to come on one day with us so we can all sit down and talk about it, because I just think she has a wealth of knowledge that, as the outsiders looking in, we're never going to have. So very, very interesting stuff. So I mean, it's just amazing. When you think about all of these little pieces of this, and how Chad Daybell and how all of these people come into this and where they were before, and makes you really. I even want to go back. I want to go back before. I want to go back before Julie Rowe got into Chad Daybell's life and figure out, at what point did he step into this and start this deciding that he was the prophet and starting this other spin-off group over here to talk about this new world order and all of these things. I want to go back further and find out exactly where did he start with this? Who brought him into this, right? Because it's very interesting stuff. I mean, it's things we never think about. People talk about the elites, they talk about these things all the time, but we're like, that's not really real. Well, apparently it is really real, isn't it? Because I never wanted to believe any of that kind of stuff. I always went, oh, no way. Oh, no. From listening to her, we're going to listen some more. I'm going to let it run about 5 minutes. I'm going to put her back on, let it run about 5 minutes, and then we'll have to just turn it on for fair use. You know how that goes. But just listen. It's so interesting.
More conspiracy, more chaos, if you will. There's a whole bunch of Lorries, okay? But yeah, so he claimed he did, but it was like he was just answering the phones and grabbing like bagels and like donut runs, okay? That sound like my mom. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I do. Well, so, I mean, anyways, this has like just been that missing piece, of, oh, okay, good. They confirmed what I was already speculating. I was already speculating that Tom Harrison was allegedly writing about these quote unquote astral projection experiences, his own, okay, alleged, in my opinion. His own experiences, selling them in a book. And then that's why Lori was, in it. Okay. She had it on her person when my uncle was shot at in Chandler. It was on her nightstand. She had a copy whenever she was served in Hawaii. Her and Chad were, by the pool, sunning by the pool in January. And it was under her right leg, served there. Whenever they arrested Lori they impounded the vehicle that they were driving there in Hawaii, there was a copy in there. When she was extradited from Idaho to Arizona, guess who ordered her a copy in jail? She's got one right now in her cell. Well, she sold it for, ramen.
Oh God, that's funny.
Lori. Okay, so Visions of Glory. Yeah, so she ordered it there. She ordered some kind of witchy book or something, and then one of Chad Daybell's Arthur's books. He published the books or whatever. Anyway, so that's that. And then we have that June 9th call between Lori and Chad. I'm sorry, June 8th. It was the day before the kids were unearthed from Chad Daybell's property. And right off the bat, which of course I did listen to it again the other day, and Rob Wood, when he was playing it for Detective Hermosillo, because Detective Hermosillo heard that. And so that's who introduced that evidence into the record in Chad Daybell's trial. And Rob Wood started it at a certain, like 6 minutes in. So there are probably a 6 minutes of Visions of Glory talk. And she was talking about the angels of fire, pillars of fire, something like that. She was talking to Chad, like right when he played it for the court, And anyways, I didn't catch it, but Lauren Hidden True Crime, they caught it over there. And I was like, holy crap. Oh my God. They're talking in Visions of Glory. Just like I think she talks in LDS. She talks in scripture. That is her language. Okay. Whenever she was pretending to be a lawyer, she was talking with the inside speak. If you notice, she did a lot of acronyms, like, because I don't know what a da-da-da is, because I'm not in prison. Okay. So not my terminology. And I'm not really good at, acronyms or whatever. No. That's not me. Once I get them, I got them. But, don't get me figuring those things out. But it's inside speak. It's inside talk. And she talks it like, hey, judge, blah, 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 at the DO, whatever order. And I'm just like, I don't even know what she's talking about. I get it now after listening to it so many times. But what is going on here?
Okay, hang on.
So it's like she is a chameleon, and whatever she has.
Isn't that fascinating? So she's literally living the Visions of Glory book. Okay, but hearing from difficult research there that the Visions of Glory book actually goes back to these other organizations. I'm so fascinated. I really want to read that now and get, I just, because, I always want to understand what in the world is in their mind to make them think that this, number one, they're going to get away with something like this. Or number two, they're going to use religion to be the reason that they do things like this. Did you hear Lori in the interview the other day when she said to Nate Eaton about, talking about how the, Nephites had 7 death sentences, but they were still around. She asked Nate Eaton, and where are they? And Nate Eaton said, like, I don't know. And she's like, well, they're still here. They're still out and about. But you see, she's so. But what the thing about her is, and this is where I get a little confused, and I don't know. It comes back to our facts, or is it? Right? I don't know if she just pretends and keeps going with this because she has no other option. That's the only way she can sleep at night. Or is if this she really, truly, absolutely 100% lives it and believes it. That's the thing we don't know about her because she is a chameleon. She said it right there. She is a chameleon. And then you got to think, you got to go back. How in the world? Here's another part of this. How in the world did she meet Chad Daybell back in 2018? Okay, and then he immediately, remember she said there's a bunch of Loris. I want to know every Lori. How many other Loris were there before this Lori actually took the bite and went along with Chad Daybell in this situation? Then who else is involved? I need more information on the Underground Railroad. I need more information on a lot of this. And so Tom Harrison, this astral projection, I want to read about that too. So I'm going to get information on that. There's just a lot to learn when it comes to all of these little parts that all come together in this case, and how it goes together. And then Chad Daybell. And here's another thing. I am trying to get Chad Daybell's appeal. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it because like Letitia Stouch, her appeal is sealed, and I believe it's because the person that is her victim is a minor, and so some things they just don't want to release, and I understand that. But as soon as I can get my hands on it, I'm going to get it and bring it to y'all because my feelings for her. She thinks she's. If you've listened to the Ward Case Studies or Alex Erickson play her phone calls from the Colorado prison she is in right now to her new Amy L. She has a new Amy L in her life. She talks like she is so important. Everybody, it is amazing how she's adjusted to prison life like she's always been there. And thinks that she's the most important person in the world and that everybody is interested in her. No, we're not interested in you, lady. We are upset about what you did. We don't want to see you living like a queen over here in prison after you took the life of an innocent child. No, that is what upsets us about you, Letitia Stouch. But anyway, let me go back and play some more of this because I can only be on for about an hour or so. I have a lot to do today. As y'all know, we've had the big flood, and there is debris and crap in our yard from our creek bed that runs back behind our house. We got no water in our house and all that. We're very fortunate because we live on a hill. But anyway, let's go back and play some more.
Has to do to fake it till she makes it is she's gonna do it. She did it with mommy, talk. She did it to fool people. I mean, she just would pick up the role, I guess. I don't know. I know. Can you imagine? Our brains would be even more fragmented, I think. I really do. Just like the dance videos, like I'm like, keep them. I just don't need all that in my life. I can picture it. I'm never gonna dance again. Right. I know. I was same here. I don't feel like she should be able to get a book she likes either. And I mean, I went and looked at the Son of Sam laws, again, because this is something that KJ has brought up in the past that I've looked at in the past that, there's Son of Sam laws, there's this other law or whatever, but they had it overturned. A prisoner had it overturned some time ago. I don't know. I didn't retain that information before jamming my head with new information. But it's like infringing. The argument was that it was infringing on the prisoner's freedom of speech, because they have rights. Lori's got rights, and she ain't going to let us forget it ever. So every state should have sunshine laws. We as taxpayers are footing the bill for their whole lives. We should be able to know what they're doing, right? They're not going to let us. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. I mean, just in the trial coverage area, in true crime, I mean, I'm just throwing some things out there. I'm not a professional or expert, I'm just pointing out some examples. But if you look at how Lori's first trial was compared to Chad's, where we didn't have video, but we had audio at the end of the day. I mean, it creates this fragmented way of receiving information, especially in Arizona. That 5-minute or that 30-minute thing really got me. It cooked my goose because I mean, I'm just like, I found the verdict out in like 3 different waves for Charles, for Uncle Charles's, justice. And I mean, I was just like, okay, but I'm not going to believe what I see in chat. I'm not going to believe, it's not going to be real until I see it with my own eyes, and my own ears. I'm just saying it was very fragmented in the way it came in. And it was just, I don't know. I already don't feel things immediately. So, I've got that going for me. But it's just interesting how, and I mean, I understand the reason why. Don't get me wrong. I'm not demonizing anybody. I'm just saying, okay, so there's that. And like the transparency with that. Then there's like the Koberger thing that it just transparency is so different in Idaho and Arizona. Totally different systems. Okay. I was so worried. And I mean, I'm always going to be worried about corruption. And I think we all should, not worried, but we should all be aware. Okay. And let's not just trust everything and everybody. Yeah, we want to, but there are really corrupt ass people too. I mean, we all are, none of us are perfect. I always envision like the Pope, and I'm like, he puts his pants on the same way I do and you do. One leg at a time. Unless you can jump in them. Goody gumdrops, go practice somewhere else. I'm just saying, like, there's nobody on this planet that is exalted, period. Nobody knows what's after this. Nobody. Okay. Don't believe them. All right. Because they're full of shit. and they're just trying to scare you. So, yes. I know, Ravina. I don't want to piss everybody off because, oh my God, you got to do it in layers. But, I mean, even the way they handled, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but, and I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know if people blame Lori and Alex more than they do Chad, but I hear Lori's name every time, whereas I don't hear Chad's name, or I don't read Chad's name every time. I don't read it in the article, not as much. I mean, they'll just, it's minimized for some reason. And I don't know if that's just because Lori's back up in the headlines, or I don't know. Just kind of sharing what I'm observing. Okay. Then I remember, not really, I didn't get to follow the Delphi case, but I mean, once it went to trial or whatever, and cameras, and I mean, I remember the judge, like, I don't remember her name at that time. Like, I was just like, oh my God, what? You can't have, any, no audio, no nothing, just in the pretrial hearings or the court hearings before it even went to trial. And then no audio, no, like, you actually had to be in the damn courtroom. And then, according to Joe and people who were there, like Lauren, Lawyer Lee, other people that went to Delphi to attend that trial and stand in line, camp out and shit. I mean, and then it depended on where they even were inside the courthouse, in the courtroom, like, as to what they got to hear and what would make its way out, right? But then they tell us, like, they go live in a press conference and they shame us for believing the way that we do. Well, I wonder why. Maybe stop hiding everything and trying to control and tell me how to feel and how to think, because that's not how this works, bub. Like, I mean, there's some things in Idaho for sure where I don't agree with prosecution at all. I mean, it is a theory. It is, and it's supported by evidence. Okay. And they're not going to sit there. They can't sit there and prosecute Lori and Chad for their beliefs. So that goes against the First Amendment, right? Rights. Everybody's rights. So, I mean, I'm Speculationville over here. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. And it's common sense isn't so common, for real. And myself included. Sometimes I miss it, but when you really sit back and you think about all the things and you're just like, okay, well, but what's their end game? What's their end game? Did Lori and Chad get a buy-in in this new world? This new Zion? Sounds like it. And if you read the same things that I've been reading, that I've been reading over all these years. But I mean, I orbit back to it. And then I'm like, this is what it is. They are selling you your free ticket, or not your free ticket, because trust me, it comes at a price. Perhaps the price of your children, your family, your sacrifice, whatever you're willing to give for the greater good. Okay. I know I'm not off in this. I know it's uncomfortable to think about. And I'm sure it was really uncomfortable for JJ and Tylee. They were kids. They didn't get to say so. They didn't get to walk out. They didn't have that option. Okay. And so that's my evidence right there. That, them two, plus Tammy, plus Charles, plus Brandon, plus Joe, plus who knows. Okay. And I believe that both Lori and Chad come from families like this. I can't prove it. I can speculate my ass off, though. Just saying. Just saying.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how she believes? Because a lot of us have said the same thing. Well, how far back did it go that her and Alex started taking people out? A lot of us have suspected that Joe Ryan was part of their list of people that had to go. And I just really enjoyed listening to her. I'm going to let it go back and play for a couple more minutes so we can finish up with this. And then I'm going to spend about 15 minutes or so talking about our Justin Banta case, which, oh boy. They have a new affidavit out. They've added some more things to this affidavit. I can't wait to get my hands on it. There was a news station that got it on WFAA, but it's not been put on any of the sites where you can go and pull off these documents from yet. So that's why I don't have it from one of those sites. But I am getting it from Tarrant County. But anyway, let's go listen to the rest of this. I think there's about 10 more minutes of this, and then we'll go talk about Justin. Hang on, guys. She's so interesting.
And they're not alone. There's Ruby, there's Jody, there's other people that we don't even know about. You know, I mean, that's just in the Mormon land over here, where I try to stay, you know, that way the like-minded beliefs, right? So, I mean, can't go anywhere else with Joseph Smith, you know, besides the FLDS. And I even was looking at some of the what's his name? Warren Jeffs. I was looking at some of his journal entries himself, and it kind of sounds like the same concept. He's doing this polygamous stuff, marrying these young girls, violating these young girls. It's like, does each tribe, so to speak, do they get like, here, you have 5,000 slots to fill, okay? You're the team leader. All right. And then they're like, all right, who wants a ticket to paradise? Lori? All right, Chad, well, you have to seal in the temple secretly while you're still married to your spouses, okay? And then, you know, and then we're going to assign you maybe 24 zombies to get rid of. Remember how there were 24? I'm just being sarcastic right now. But do you know what I'm saying? And then there's a text message, and I have not been able to put my hand on it. So I don't know if it came out in the trial in Idaho, or if I read it. And I mean, I've been trying to think of keywords around it, you know, for me to be able to find it in the FOIA docs, Chandler or Gilbert. So I know I've looked through Chandler, so it has to be in Gilbert and or Idaho. But it was a conversation between Lori and Chad. I want to say it was sometime in July. It was right before he said that he felt like he was Harry Potter, you know, or whomever. That Harry Potter, I've never watched Harry Potter, so I don't know. So don't make fun of me. But anyways, it was right before that. But it's like they were talking to each other, and Lori texts Chad something along the lines of, that was a nice message you sent Melanie B or Mel B. And she was like, although she's okay, but I'm still really upset about it. And I was like, I mean, in the context of all the other things, of course. And that's why Lori doesn't think that she killed. She sacrificed, in my opinion. I've said that from jump. But because it goes down to semantics, right? Semantics. Under the stairs, right? You haven't either? Yeah. Good, don't. Let's make a pact. Let's not make a pact. Let's make an oath. I'm kidding. So it sounds to me, if I had to just give you my gut feeling right there, my first thought was, holy crap, did they just tell... Did Chad Daybell just tell Melanie Boudreaux nice words, talk her into sacrificing her own children so she could gain entrance into this Zion idea, this new Zion, New Jerusalem, this end times eschatology event, right? They are the latter days, right? And then you think about Julie Rowe and the Wasatch wake up and this big earthquake supposed to happen. You got Zalema hovering over like a damn witchy hovercraft, okay? Working on the tectonic plates and the fault lines and doing their witchy stuff. Trying to make people wreck their loved ones, not just people, their loved ones, their children, their own wives and their own husbands. You know, it's like, what? And, it just makes me wonder. And, oh, yeah, okay, so let me hush because we got places to go. We got places to go. I need to hydrate. I'm already dehydrated. Let's see. Wrong one. I will get it. I promise. Maybe. Where is it? Huh. I need to fix my layouts because they suck. That's the one I was looking for. Holy crap, I forgot to say, I did some research and both kids were killed on SR periods. What kids? Who? Yeah, Tyler and JJ, for sure. Brandon was shot at on 1-2. Charles 2. Yeah. Julie Rowe is a fry short of a Happy Meal. Ugh. She can have them Happy Meals. Okay. What I'm going to do is go here. I'm trying to think of how I had this laid out in my head. We'll read this for a little bit. It's just to refresh ourselves on Tom. Okay. Oh, and I mean, I had pulled some stuff up too for astral projection that, I know people are probably like, what? Remote viewing. And let's see here. Okay. I need this to be larger. Can we be larger? Okay. As long as that thing ain't going. It's not. Okay. So astral projection, often referred to as astral travel or out-of-body experience, OBE, is a concept in esotericism. Esoteric. Oh my gosh. Esoteric. That posits the existence of a subtle body, the astral body or body of light, through which consciousness can function separately from the physical body. In this state, an individual's consciousness is believed to leave, right? Lori said she had a near-death experience, right? And this is like her way of introducing, I think, this is her way of talking about it without talking about it, okay? Because you're going to hear in a little while, Tim Ballard. You're going to hear Tim Ballard talking to Tom. Hold on, I got a cough. A lot. So sorry. It hits you. It's so hot in here. Whew. Okay. I'm hot. I have no air in here. Okay. Back to here. Can I make this larger? I mean, this is kind of weird. All right.
Hang on a minute,
guys. This is and I mean, there's a.
Okay. Now she's going to start talking about this astral projection. And remember, she's talking about this Tim Ballard and this Tom guy and their conversations about this. So, I remember some things about this from what was it there? Oh wow! Oh Lord, I think it was one of those podcasts or something they were doing, and they were talking about. I think they mentioned something about this astral projection thing in that. So it's just I should have went back and just like recorded part of this, but I just didn't do that. So anyway, I'm sorry that there's some gaps in it and all that. But anyway, let's go listen to this for a few minutes, and then we'll get back together. Hang on.
There's times in Julie Rowe's podcast where she said she would spy on Chad, and I'm like, that really does sound like I was already speculating about this astral traveling stuff. I just didn't know anything about it, and I still barely do. I know more now than I did, but it's just, let's just hear it out. It is a phenomenon. Okay. It was, we'll find out. We'll learn all about it right here. So In this state, an individual's consciousness is believed to leave the physical body and travel to other dimensions, known as the astral planes, or to remote physical locations. Remember how they said they were gonna, he's like, I'm gonna come hold you and snuggle tightly or whatever, some weird stuff. Let's break down the aspects you're interested in. I'm not. What is astral projection and where does it come from? Definition: at its core, astral projection is the intentional experience of consciousness separating from the physical body. Proponents, I mean, this is what you do in a near-death experience, from my opinion, just from, kind of observing and reading and here and there, Lori said that her spirit went down, right? Which is interesting. As some people pointed that out to me, that her spirit went down, she says. All right. Proponents describe it as a sensation of floating above one's body. Tom talks about that in his book. Sometimes even to other dimensions or astral planes. Or origins and historical context. The idea of the soul or consciousness leaving the body is ancient and appears in numerous cultures and spiritual traditions worldwide, predating the modern term astral projection by millennia. Just saying it that way because that's how Lori says it. Ancient Egypt teachings. And so that's why I wrote it in red right here. Particularly in the Book of the Dead, there were rumors, this is just the hearsay stuff you hear, that Chad was dealing with the Book of the Dead and the Book of the Life and whatever. So here you go. Particularly in the Book of the Dead, describe the Ba soul or soul hovering above the body via the Ka, right? I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Bay or K? I don't know. Subtle body. Indigenous cultures, many shamanic traditions across the globe, such as I don't know how to say that, people of the Amazon have beliefs in quote unquote soul flights, where shamans can travel to other realms for healing, guidance, or communication with cosmological beings. Asian traditions, concepts akin to astral travel exist in various Buddhist and Hindu practices, often associated with advanced meditative states and the achievement of specific spiritual rites. Western esotericism. I suck at this. I can't pronounce these today. Esotericism. Anyways, theosophy. The term astral projection, I'm so sorry, y'all. The term astral projection itself gained prominence and was largely popularized by 19th century theosophists. Theosophy, founded by Helena Blavatsky, posited a system of 7 bodies or vehicles of consciousness from the physical to the highest spiritual and mental bodies. The astral body was believed to be capable of separating from the physical body and traveling on astral planes. These planes were often conceived as non-physical worlds existing alongside or within our own, sometimes corresponding to astrological spheres or spiritual realms. I need to go and let Megan in. I'm so sorry. Hey,
Hey.
Hang
I
on.
ain't got it today, girl. How are you? Been busy.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen there because then next your friend comes on and they start talking about some other things. But I'm telling you, this is pretty interesting stuff because now when you think back about all the things that they were kind of talking about, the portals in the closet and all these other things, and of course Julie was saying she was spying on Chad Daybell. It's all through this astral projection thing that they're claiming that they had, that they could do. So I need to learn more about this so I can really understand it better, because I don't really know much other than what she's kind of said. But I do remember them talking about all these different things. I'm gonna take this banner off so we can talk for a second because it's right up there in the way, isn't it? Anyway, so it just, there's just so much more into this that I really want to dig into as we go. But anyway, let's go back and talk about Justin Banta for a minute, because I found out some facts about him that I kind of, you just don't think that people. How did he think he wasn't going to get caught doing it? That is the part that just shocks me. Listen to this. This is new that I found. Hang on a second. Let's see. Let's see. It starts at Texas Tech. Hang on a minute. Okay, here we go. Let me get it right here. Okay, Texas Tech. Yes, he went to Texas Tech. Okay, come on up now. I should have had this already pulled up, but I lost it because I was started doing something else. Okay. Okay. Listen to this. Texas Tech whiz from Department of Justice accused of secretly inducing girlfriends, I'm just going to say a word, faces capital murder charges. So he was apparently a very smart person. If he went to Texas Tech, they're calling him an IT whiz. I mean, geez, he had to know that there's no way he could get away with this. What made him think nobody was going to ever know? That's something I want to know. I guess people don't realize just how big the eye in the sky really is. It's always watching you. I mean, everything you do, you're being watched outside your house, some people inside their house. But I think that, and his bond was $520,000. He got out on bail. So, it's quite amazing that how you come up with a bill like that. But so I just thought that was amazing. He was a Texas Tech whiz from IT. And let's see. Now, that one of the things that you never hear in this case is I've never seen the girlfriend talk about this. It's always been all about him. There's nothing about this girlfriend. I would like to know more about this girlfriend, and maybe because one of the things that is discussed about this is that he says, in his words, they had discussed getting the pills online together already, that they had planned on doing that together already, and that she changed her mind. But he didn't change his mind, and that's why he went through with this, right? And his wife expected them to do this. And they had only been dating for they'd only been going out with each other for about a month whenever this happened, and which is wild, but anyway, just some bizarre things here about this. But as we get more information, we'll be able to talk about him some more. But I can't spend very long on today. We've been on for about an hour and 7 or 10 minutes, whatever. But if you missed the live, just go and just listen to it whenever you can. It's some interesting information. I should have my other book tomorrow, supposedly from my Chad Daybell book, and it's called. Let me tell you what it's called again, because you weren't in here. Some of y'all weren't in here, but whenever I first told you what it's called, I'm really excited to read it, because again, it goes back to some of this other. It goes with A Prophet in Palmyra. Dare to be True Adventures. Okay, Dare to be True Adventures. So you can just imagine what this is going to be about. I wonder if there's let me see if I can read anything about this right now. Let's see. Sometimes these books will give you little pages about what it's about. But here's what's kind of funny. So this book is actually, if they gave it a grade level, if somebody was going to read this, it would be grade level 7 through 9. Okay. Now Chad Daybell's a big author. Just look at Lori the other day when Nate was talking to her, and he was talking about, well, he didn't have any money, so how did they rent this condo and all this other stuff? Lori goes, well, he is an author. He has a publishing company. I'm like, Lori, are you kidding me? So he's writing grade 7 to 9 level books, okay? 7th graders to 9th grader level books. Yes, that's what he's doing. Now, let me tell you something else that I found that was kind of interesting about this. This is somebody who did a review on this book. Michael is from the amazing state of Utah. He's married to his wife, Nicole. Hang on a minute. Michael is the author and illustrator of dozens of children's books, including the popular Alphabet Rainbow. Let me see. Let me find his little review that he did on this thing. Hang on a minute. Oh, come on. It was a review that I saw on this. Okay, listen to what it says. This is an answer book where Chad Daybell tells us about Joseph Smith and God's promise to the kids everywhere. Okay. Where are you missing stepchildren? Listen to this. Where are you missing stepchildren? Missing step book right here. I'm telling you, this is them living these books that that Chad Daybell is writing. Okay. So there's one of the reviews that talks about where are you missing stepchildren. Now, it's just crazy that the things that are in this. Oh my God. I can't wait to get this book to really get, even though it's meant for 7th and 9th graders, which is very juvenile, but there's just interesting things in it that goes along with all the other things that they were using and trying to live out Chad's fantasies. It is living out Chad's fantasies. That's kind of what I see it. Part of it is, but the other part is the fact that it's absolutely part of a bigger scenario. So that's what we're learning about. But anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. It's so great to see everybody today. When you get a chance, if you need to re-listen, that's fine. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll probably do 2 o'clock again tomorrow. I'll put an announcement out tomorrow. I didn't put one out today, but I should have. And I think tomorrow we're just going to, I'm going to get some more information about this Visions of Glory thing and this other book. There's another book that I want to read by Chad Daybell that I'm having a hard time getting hold of. And it is I believe it's a children's book where he, remember when Lori said, Alex had to take JJ because he was climbing on the cabinet and he knocked off my picture of Jesus, right? Remember that? In this one book that Chad has written, this exact scenario is written in the book. Now, I'm trying to find the book that it's in so we can kind of go through it a little bit. Again, living out Chad Daybell's written fantasies in these books, because everything that he's written about, they're just living it, just living it. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow, probably about 2 o'clock. Have a good afternoon. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed some of the information we learned today. And we're going to learn some more tomorrow. Anyway, bye, guys. Have a good afternoon.